Well, good evening, everyone. Welcome along. Uh, Good afternoon if you're further afield. Welcome to our session with me, returning and home. I'm going to bring my one earworm in. Uh, I have Douglas to help me.
It's just me.
It's just you.
No twosome today. It's just me.
No, Gruesom's has fell away.
It's just
I
me
believe
today,
I believe Brian's not well.
right?
Uh, I don't know, but I don't know much. But anyway. So I'll put Doug back in the background, guys, and I'll mosey on over to the lathe and I'll explain what I'm planning to do tonight. Okay. Uh, Okay, guys, I have a piece of mahogany, and I was given this about a year and a half ago, and it's been sitting in the wood pile, wondering what to do with it. And you know yourself, don't like turning mahogany because it's very dusty. But we're going to do a bit of sparring on this. We're going to make a wee pot with a lid. So I'll get the spindle roughing guys and we'll bring it down to around and put a tannin on one end and we'll put it in the chuck. So this piece is 125 mil by 70 mil by 70 mil. So I've already tested this wood out yesterday on a wee piece and something similar, and it turned out well. Uh, I haven't done much spiraling with a Robert Sorby spiraling tool. I've had it about 9 years, and it's been hanging on the wall. And I thought about time I started using it. Tools you buy, you never use them. So while I'm roughing this down, I'm sure Doug will tell me who's in, and welcome
Yeah.
along, everyone.
It is good to see everybody today. It's been I hope everybody's had a great week. I had a great week last week, and this week has already started off to be a pretty good one. Going to be another busy one, but that's okay. In the chat today, we have a good number of folks. Looks like we have Door 60. Hello, Andy. Dale, Old Man River, he is in. Hello, Dale. Tony Smith is in. Good evening, Tony. Haley at Wooden Burl is in. Hello. Vinnie Carlton, good evening to you, sir. Wibby Woodshed, hello, sir. Todd at Glen Cove Woodworks. Hi, Todd. Good to see you today. Who else we got? Andy the Valley Woodturner. Hello, Andy. Good to have you along. Matt Ibbotson is in. We're glad to have you, Matt. You can go right on down. Lucy, Sweet Potato Bundy Row. Good to see you tonight, Lucy. Looks like that might be about it for right now. Everybody else may be out and watching a little soccer or football, whatever you want to call it today. Depends on where you live, I guess. It's good to have everybody.
Well, welcome along, everyone. So, just getting rid of the flats in this. Still have two.
Robert
Uh,
Boltwood is still in or just came in. Hello, Robert.
Still a wee bit from this end. There's always one bit that fuses to go round. Let's see what
Isn't it
that's
though?
like. I can still fill out, there's still a wee bit there. Yeah.
Mm.
It's not critical you get rid of it all, but because you're turning the piece anyway. But it's better off to start with a true blank round, and that should be fine there. So I'm just going to get my part or beading tool here, and parting tool, and put a small tenon on this. Wait a minute, I'll put one on the other end.
Jennifer's Crafting Creations is in. Hello, Jennifer. Glad to have you along with us tonight.
Okay, so that's does that, and we'll get it into the chuck.
Good morning, Pete of the Twisted Trees.
Hey, Pete.
Or is it Twisted Pete of the Trees? That's it, isn't it? Hiya, Pete. Good to see you.
Just bring the tail stock up.
Lucy says she's fed up with sports on TV.
Yeah, you get fed up watching it.
Sometimes it's kind of like our political system over here. You got bias going everywhere. So,
right. So it's in the chuck. I'm just going to run over it once again. There's a wee bit of a wobble, and there's still a wee bit of that flat on it.
oh no.
Okay.
Pete just cut a dome lid, 106 millimeter diameter outside and 107 millimeter inside. Somehow it doesn't work, Pete. More fodder for the fire pit.
I'm just going to cut a piece off this for the lid of this wee pot. Just making some relief for my pizzle.
Precious is in. Hello, Precious. Brian Best has joined us. Hello, Brian.
Hi, Brian. Just relieve the pressure off the tailstock as you come to near cutting that off. And normally you can just break it off. No, doesn't want to come off tonight.
Some woods, it's amazing how thin you have to get them before they'll break off. Mahogany seems to be one of those woods that I have to get pretty thin before it just breaks off. Ronnie Jones. Hello, Ronnie.
Oh, that's a piece for the lid later on. So we'll set that to the side. Okay, so as I said, I want to do a wee bit of spiraling in this, but I want to put a wee bit of shape onto it as well. So I will just check that for trueness. It should be quite flat straight across the top. And there's, you can see it there's no daylight coming through. So I'm happy with that. So I'll put a wee bit of shape into this, and before I spiral it, I will be taking some off as well. So I'm going to sort of taper it at the bottom.
Ronnie Jones said he's from Georgia. It's his first time, and we do welcome you, Ronnie. Glad you're here.
Welcome along, Ronnie.
What part of Georgia, Ronnie? I was just in Georgia last week, or week before last, I guess. Was in St. Simons off of Brunswick coast. Had a great time.
So I'm not putting too much of a curve in this, just enough to, so it's not straight, more or less.
Oh, Fred Gilliver is in. Hello, Fred.
Oh, that's
Professor
good
Rob
enough.
is in. Glad to have you along, Rob. Mike Evans has joined us, as has Gerard the French Turner. Hello.
So we'll just give it a quick wee sand, create lots of dust. Not that it matters too much because I'm going to spiral this, but you want to have it as good as you can get it.
I was about to say, you got to sand now because you can't sand after you spiral it.
No, it's a waste of time. You sand your
Yep.
spirals out. So that was Giddy Grit, piece of 120. Just a quick rub over. This here mahogany does turn very nice. It came up very well
Mm-hmm.
just off the tool, so there's not too much sanding involved in it. But we have to go through the motions. Da, 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 da. That's 240. 320. And 400. I'll stop that and have a look at it. And there's a couple of wee lines there, but I'm not worried because we're going to be turning that again. So it's ready for my spiraling. Spiraling. So I'm
Yeah,
just going
that
to bring
word.
it. Yeah, that word. You don't uh, have an awful lot of thing to say about it. Right. So watching a couple of videos over the weekend, and I've seen one of our members demonstrate the rubber Sorby sparring tool at my club a couple of weeks ago when he done a pepper mill and he made a lovely design on it, diamond cut on it. So he was saying, so I haven't done much sparring, by the way, just to let you know before anything goes wrong. uh, I've had this system for about 9 years, but hanging on the wall, and I've used it now and again, but never to any extent of making anything with it. So I thought I would get it out after watching a couple of videos yesterday and getting a wee bit of an idea how to use it and so on. So uh, you have to bring it down to your own center. Well, that's what the video was saying I was watching. So you want to be more or less on center with it. And you want to turn your speed down a wee bit. Okay. And they recommend about 500 on a wee small piece like this here. I think it's about there's 490. We're not going to argue over 10 decimals. So the other thing, when you're going in for the spiral, you want to lift your handle up, the same you would do with uh, what do you call it?
With your parting tool?
Right nose scraper. Your
Oh,
scraper,
okay. Uh-huh. Yeah.
Sorry, I was clearing my throat there, and something just wouldn't let me speak. So
Mm-hmm.
you want to introduce the spiraling to the piece and let it grab, and lift your hand slightly. And after watching Brandon doing his demo, I just took it slow. I'm just going to go over it again, so we'll let the wheel pick up the cutter. Just a wee bit more pressure on it now. Get a wee bit deeper. And
Do you have that wheel flat, or you have it angled a little bit?
it's at an angle, a
Okay.
slight angle.
Okay.
The other thing, you don't want to rush it. Let it cut. Right, we'll stop that and have a wee look. And there's a wee bit of tear out where the end grain is there. But overall, it's not too bad. We'll see if we can clean that up a wee bit. So what I was going to say there, before you turn your piece, before you do this, I would say have a couple of goes at it before you actually cut it into the piece, and then find that you have very little timber left. So if you have plenty of timber, why not use the time to get to know what it feels like to run it across the wood. Because every wood will be different. Right? I'm happy enough with that. That's came out right. Okay. Yeah. There's a wee bit there. It's pulled out, but you will get wee bits like that. Every timber will be different, I find. The one I had we practice with sort of went all right, and I had no problems with it. So I am going to finish the outside here with this wee bit, forming where the foot is going to be, and we're going to be taking some of this away towards the top. So you'll see what I mean. It's not going to stay as it is. I'm just going to remove some of it. So speed the lead up again.
Alan Gibb has just joined us. Hello, Alan. Glad to have you. While you're making those cuts there, Paul, let me just say there's a good bit of political chat going on in the chat, and that's fine. I'm just not. I'm going to stay out of the political chat if you don't mind, folks. I've got my opinions, just like you have your opinions, and so I'm just going to stay out of it personally.
Okay, so just forming a wee transition into the bottom of this. And we're going to finish that off when we turn our piece around to take the foot off. So I'll just show you what that's like. It's just taking a wee bit of natural wood to show it at the bottom. And I will put a wee V cut into that with my wee point tool here to mark that transition.
Little line like that really separates that spiraling.
If you're doing any spiraling, it's always a good thing to separate it with a couple of lines because it makes a big difference. So I just want to touch it up here. I just want to be a bit short on the. Okay, I'll be all right. So on the top of it, I'm going to come in about there. I'm just going to use my round nose scraper to give me the wee cut I need, just the shape for that.
Copper Owl Wood Turning has joined us. Hello, Rob.
Hi, Rob. Just stop out and have a look to see. So I haven't made up my mind where to take this all off or not. I might take that off. I might not. Right. We'll cut a couple more lines into this. And we'll put one in here. And one in here. And I'm going to leave that most of the way. I'm going to take it a wee bit off at the top. So I'll put one in there. So this is, make it up as you go along. And if it looks okay, brilliant. You know. So I want to bring that back. So this wee bit will be raised a wee bit.
Dr. Bob has joined us. Hey, Bob, how you doing?
Just going to get the skew chisel here to clean that end up. Same on this side. I think I need to take a wee bit more off that. Yeah. And just reshape that to compensate for that. We cut.
Neil M. and William Kenny have both joined us. Hello, guys.
Welcome along, guys. Okay. Need to touch that in.
Dr. Bob's at the VA and he says there's 6 patients watching with him. Hey, guys, glad to have you all with us.
Welcome along, guys. Right, so we've done our spiraling. We've sort of more or less the position of it, and it's a wee pot with a lid. So we'll sand that a wee bit here on those wee ends. Not sand too much here because I'm going to do that when I turn it around. So I just want to give that a wee quick sand. I'm going to throw a taste of sand sealer on that before we take the inside of that out. Put the dusty machine on. And sand to start this, mahogany cuts lovely, so there's not a lot of sand to be done to it, but just go through the motions. What was that? 180. 180, 180. 240.
Was doing my demonstration Saturday and got to the point where I had sanded, cleaned it off with a bit of alcohol, and was about to put some sanding sealer on it, and I heard in my head a wee taste of sanding sealer. I didn't say it, but I almost did.
I wouldn't have knew what you were talking about.
They would have understood sanding sealer, but that's the only part.
Right, so what was that? 240. That was 240. So 320. That was 240. Looking for my 320 and the 340 is on my 320 box. And it shouldn't be in there. Yeah. So.
And no, worn out 240 is not the same thing as 320.
No.
It's just worn out 240.
So
Yes, Pete, that's exactly right.
just want to put that wee line in again there because it's going to burn that line. No, not do it with that. We'll do it with this wee fellow. And
You know, Pete, that's real true. I find myself starting to say things that I hear many of you guys on YouTube saying. With Paul, it's a wee taste. Wee taste of sandpaper, wee taste of sanding sealer, wee taste of wax, whatever it is. Um, it's always interesting. I start to say something and I think, wait a minute, that's what so and so says, whether it's William or Pete or Wayne or Mark or whoever. Um,
for sure, for sure. You know,
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
We pick up on those little
Right.
sayings that other people say, and
Well, use the spray on sand sealer because with the texture, uh, rubbing it on, took a wee bit harder to do, but turning the lathe speed down, right down, and just give it a good blast with a sand sealer. Making sure you get it in all the wee grooves. Let that soak in. It's very dry, that bit of mahogany too, so it'll soak in and no problem. So just change that on the camera, just let you see it there. So it's okay. So get rid of these couple of tools and we'll get where that's down a wee bit. And we'll start taking the center out of this. So I'll remove the tail stock and we'll get our Jacob's chuck with our Forstner bit in. And it's not cheating, it's using your head and using whatever makes it easier. It's not, why make things hard for yourself, you know?
why reinvent the wheel, right?
Yeah. So I think that's a 35 mil Forstner bit. I'm just checking it is 35 mil. And we want to turn the lathe speed down to around about
Brian
high
is asked.
700.
Brian is asking, will the camera let us get a closer view? I'm not sure. A closer view of what, Brian? That view there?
Or do you want an overhead view? Well,
I'm not sure what view he's looking for.
well,
Robert, the wood is mahogany.
so again, just take your time, let the cutter cut and withdraw it. Make sure your shavings are clearing. Move the whole tail stack forward. You don't want to wind your quill out too far and take a chance of getting
Okay.
a catch and end up bending your quill.
So this must have been the view that Brian was looking for. He said that's better. I'm assuming the end view is what he was looking for.
Brian, just say change the camera, Paul.
Pete says he thinks he likes the spiral more than he likes beads. He has a real problem with beaded bowls that are even worse than OGs.
Just gonna measure that, the depth of that. See where
An
we are.
OG can be a lovely shape on a bowl, but it can also be an ugly shape if it's
So we're
not given enough room to breathe.
just here on the depth. So I want to take it a wee bit more. So I'm going to have to just take my forcing bit out a wee bit more and get an extra few millimeters on it. Clear some of the terrible dust out. That'll let me in an hour, 10, 15 mil. Okay, so I'm happy with that. Just hold on to the truck wish you would draw it.
Wivy Woodshed has said that there's nothing wrong with beaded bowls unless they're black and yellow. It'd be even funnier if Mark was in the chat.
Right, see what the depth is there now. So, okay, that's where I want to be because it gives me a wee bit of room to play around with the bottom and the inside to tidy that up.
Pete said if the bowl is beaded, it must be black and yellow.
We just change camera again and I get a wee drink after that dust.
Some woods, mahogany is one of them, they are just simply dusty no matter what you do.
Yeah, so just using the beating aparting tool here to widen the neck of this a wee bit.
Dr. Bob, you want to try that again? Is sanding sealer like a what for wood? One of the doctors there must have asked Dr. Bob about something about sanding sealer, but I'm not sure what he's calling it here.
Okay, so that's that. So we'll get just use the bowl guys here. So what I've done here is this is going to be my recess for me the lid to sit into, and that's my top. I left it a wee purposely a wee bit heavy because I want to give it a wee bit of strength where I want to turn it around and put it in a chuck. If we make it too thin and you put it in the chuck, especially in expansion, you know what happens. Yeah.
Crack it in a heartbeat. An antiqualant. I'm not sure what that is, Bob. Oh, a bleed anticoagulant. Now I know what we're talking about.
All right.
Eh.
A wee bit low on the
Maybe, sort of, kind of. Bleed stopper. That's a good way of saying it, alien. Oh, me. Kind of. It stops, it closes the pores in the wood, or at least that's the hope if we apply it properly.
I'm using the side of the bull gouge here, the bottom wing, uh, just as a draw cut. It doesn't like it too much down there. To the shaving side, see where we are. Get the fingers down. How we feel. Still a wee bit of room. There's a wee bit of ridge there, just there. So just remember, you put a slight curve inwards on the outside. So just be careful when you're going to pick the inside out and you don't go through the side. I think that would have done that. So I'm happy enough with that. I just need to tidy the bottom up. And it's always the same when you use a forcing bit, and you get down to the bottom, you're left with that wee nub on the bottom. And it's the hardest bit to get right, I find. So I'll just get my wee light, and it's not too bad. But I'm going to use the spindle gouge here. See if we can drag it over the bottom of this. We'll see what that's like. You're either left there with a divot or a pimple. And you usually get rid of one and then you get the other one in its place. So just stop and have a feel and look. And I'm just going to change our heavier gouge here. We're getting a lot of vibration off that 1/4 inch spindle gouge.
Todd answering the doctor's question there for Bob is saying that it's more like sanding sealer is more like a coagulant. I'm thinking more like liquid Band-Aid. Just kind of goes over the top, seals it off a little bit.
Right.
But yeah, like a liquid bandage, yes.
Ooh, I've a nice chatter down on the inside of that. Don't know if I camera see it.
There you go. Yeah, yeah.
I'm going to leave that in.
Happy accident.
Yeah, I'm going to leave it there because it's fine. Yeah. Just
yeah.
A wee bit of sand into this. There's a wee bit just on the bottom of the side wall there. Needs. We're getting sparring and we're getting chatter. Who needs a chatter tool when you've got a spindle gouge in your hand? Right, we'll give that a bit of that. A wee sand. So, safety in mind, you don't want to put your fingers down here with sandpaper and stuff. So, I've got myself a wee, where is it? A wee homemade tool. And it's a stick with a bit of Velcro on it. And you can put your sandpaper on it. And you can sand away to your heart's content. Without the fear of damaging your fingers. Especially in these small projects like this here, where it's hard to get your fingers down in the inside safely. So And again, this is sanding up really nice. Doesn't take much sanding to it. So
Robert Botwood has said he spent many hours in a machine shop as an apprentice on the wrong end of a ripsaw or a planer, stacking mahogany with no extraction at all. I understand. That's
oh,
shoo, mercy.
oh,
You
don't
probably had
fancy
some
that.
nice stuff coming out of your nose and throat at night, didn't you? Mercy. As dusty as mahogany is.
Yeah, that's the only reason I don't like using it. It's really dusty, and it's always see when you start using it and doing a demo with it, they all start coughing in the background.
Oh, of course, yeah.
you know, trying
Todd
to
says
tell
I
you something.
Todd says I think we need to buy Paul a T-shirt that just says "We."
We. Well, I have no problem remembering that word because it's one of my first words.
Of
We.
course.
That looks all right. Just quickly stand there.
That's the primary purpose for McDonald's.
And 120, 240.
Yeah. William said hashtag we. That'll work, Paul or William. That'll work real well.
So that was 240. This is 320. Just stopping how we look to see. That looks all right. I'll just finish that off with 400. So I'm sort of getting away with the bottom here because that wee bit of chattering on the bottom. So I'm not worried too much about the bottom bits. So I didn't take it straight down into the bottom. It sort of curves around, and it's easier to get things out of it. Well, not in this one because it's longer than what your fingers can reach. But if you're doing a wee box or a wee small pot like that, and you can't get your fingers down to the bottom, you want to round it over and make it easy to get things out of it because it goes into the corner. It's quite difficult sometimes to get them out. So give that a wee squirt with the airline. I just want to give the rim a wee sand as well. And the top of the recess here. I'll just take a sharp edge off that. That's okay. So we'll turn the extraction off. So we'll get a wee taste the sound sealer. That's our word again, Doug. We.
Just a wee taste. Don't want to drown it.
Wouldn't it be great if I forgot that word? Wouldn't it?
Nah. Nah.
So I'm just squirting a wee drop in there. Where's my tissue? Where it all runs over. Nah. It wouldn't be the same watching me without saying that word.
No, that's just part of your language. No problem. No problem.
Hair run dripped out there all over the place. I'll need a wee bit more on that. So just finish the outside of that. So There's a wee bit there I've missed. Turn the leads back on again. I'm going to use our stick again with the Velcro on it. And you can use it to just give it a wee rub on the inside. Help dry that up and give it some sort of a polish to it. And while I'm there, I might as well put a wee just the wax in it, just for the sake of it.
Dr. Bob has explained, and we've heard this, many of us have heard this a few times before, but he was explaining to the folks there that he took up turning to help cope with PTSD after being a POW in Vietnam. He takes his anger out on the wood, and as he's making something, then he buries that anger in the wood shavings out in the garden,
Yeah.
which is so true of many of us. We take out frustrations of the day or the week or maybe of the last 10 or 15 minutes and get that frustration out on the wood sometimes. And it's one reason I think it's good for us to come in and just make shavings every once in a
Yeah,
while.
that's great. Just go out there, forget about the word, forget what's happening.
Just hog off shavings and make a mess, sweep them up, get rid of them. So far, Bob's made about 1,000 urns for veterans, and such a great service that you're providing there, Bob, for that.
So I'm going to give the outside of this another coat of sand sealer. Just blow the dust off it. It's right in quite well.
I have found that to be so true, William. William said Ireland's such a small country, but has so many strong accents. Very true, very true.
Yeah.
Even you can go from state to state here, even across a state.
If you come from Ballymena, hey, you have a totally different accent down there.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. North Carolina, for example, you have the mountains, you have the foothills, you have the Piedmont area, you have the coastal area, and every one of those sections has at least 2 different accents within that section. Unbelievable. People didn't know when I lived in North Carolina, they couldn't figure out where I came from. They just knew I wasn't from there.
So this is just a wee taste of my crystalline wax I'm putting on, and this wee cloth is well soaked in the wax because of the hot water lately, and started melting. So I'm rubbing it well into the groove. There. I'm going to buff that off later. So we want to get our lid next. So we'll take that off, let that dry a wee bit, and we can concentrate on the lid. So here we have our slow-side lid. Turn that off. Don't need it. Turn that wee light off. Right. So just need to clean the face of that up. And
Bob, you lived in Hendersonville for 5 years, so you know exactly what I'm talking about. Unbelievable the way the accents change from one region to another, and that could be a matter of 10, 15 miles.
okay,
Pete says Ireland's such a small country, so in order to get the required number of accents in, they have to change every 10 miles.
Yeah.
I understand, Pete,
Just
very,
getting the
very
measurement
well.
of that for our lid, our recess. So remember, only touch one side. That's that one here. There, that's it there. And if you're anything like me, guys, when I go to mark a line somewhere, I always take too much timber off. So on the caution side, just come back from the line a wee bit and try your piece in. Because if you take too much timber off and you haven't got enough left on your lid, where am I? Let's see. Back on the tailstock. I'll bring that camera back up again. Try your lid fitting. It's nowhere near it, but it's just best to creep up on it and take too much off.
Mm-hmm. Doesn't matter how much you try, just because you run it in reverse does not put wood back on. It just doesn't work.
Just get the scooch out and just take a wee bit off the corner of this. It's almost on. I just want to creep up on it. So you don't want a really tight fit, but at the same time, you see, that's too loose. I took too much off it there. So I have a wee bit of room to play with here. So what I can do is I reduce the front of this and take a wee bit more off that and reduce the thick, make it thicker going towards the outside of the piece. So I can take it off there, and that will help with the compensate for the bit I'm putting back on again. So I've made it bevel out the way at an angle to make it a wee bit tighter. On it, you see, there it's on, and that's just a nice fit. It's not too tight and it's not too loose. So there's still a wee grab on it, but it's nothing that'll disappear with probably sanding, you know, when you start doing all that. So we'll finish the underneath of that, and we'll just get the spindle gouge and tidy this up.
Yeah, Bob talking about the size of Michigan where he lives. That's Michigan is a big state, area wise. It's a very big state.
Okay, just kept our bottom on again on our lid. Okay, that's I'm happy enough. So we'll sand the bottom of that before we move on. Just give a wee touch. You don't want to take too much off it because it will affect your fit. So as long as you've got a clean enough cut with your skew chisel, it should be nice on there. And there it is. It just
Hmm.
grabs nice. So we'll just give it a wee grab. We just a sand sealer on that to raise the grain a wee bit. Check it again. Because usually when you put a finish on it, it sometimes just raises the grain that wee bit and makes it tight. So you just turn that on. That's just nice. Okay. There's a slight wee pop, but not much. You get that off very easy with no difficulty. You want it to be so when you lift the lid off, when it's sitting on the table, when you lift the lid off, it comes off. The whole thing doesn't come up on your hand and then fall off, and it goes all over the place. you know, uh, you don't know to do that to break. So, right, okay, so we need to remove a wee bit of timber from this, and then I'll turn it round and we'll work on the top of the lid. This is going to be a flush lid sitting on the top, so it's going to sit flush in there along with its outside. So we want to bring that down a wee bit, so we'll take a wee bit off that. And again, keep checking your fitting, because sometimes when you start removing timber, things can loosen up because the wood's releasing stress and it wants to break free. Get an Arby drink.
Can do all kinds of funny things.
Yep. So I just noticed that there's a wee line in there. Wasn't much, but it was enough to catch my eye. So I'll just take that off. We'll try it on the top of the lid. Yeah, and that's going to fit okay. So
Nice.
we'll put that back in the chuck. Take that for. Oh, it's not very good. That's the worst about taking stuff out of the chuck. You never get back in again. There's right wobbling that. I'll see if I can get it to screw up with the lid in on it. That's why you should always mark your center point in both bottom and top. And you have that opportunity to line it up off your tailstock and headstock. Where's my revolving center?
Had that question come up Saturday. I was
So just going to loosen that.
I was putting a piece into the chuck I had taken off the lathe, and guy didn't understand how I was getting it lined up. Well, I had this center point when I started, so everything should be lined up straight now. And it was perfect.
I don't think it matters too much with a lid because it's going flat into this. So try and take a wee bit off. There's still a slight wobble on it, but I think I'll get away with it. So I'm just bringing this down so that I can see where the I'm going to have to stop it and look at this and see where that mark is. Right. I'll probably take that right off, The trouble with this here, I went about this the wrong way, but I can still get out of it. If I take too much timber off here now, I will be left with a gap around the lid. Okay, so what I'll do is put the lid in the tail stuff or the chuck jaws and work that way on it. Because you can get a better feel for it. So just take this down gradually. It's going to be quite close to it, near all the way, but you want to make sure you have that wee bit of timber to close the opening. So you just taking that wee bit of timber off has made that a lot looser. So you can never count on it being too tight. So in that case, I have the opportunity to fix it still. And what I'll do is I'll take a, bring the tail stack up again. What I'll do is take a wee bit of timber off the face of this here and move my tannin up the way, making it a wee bit tighter as it goes up. Because I'm not the depth for the recess for it to sit in, so it wouldn't go up unless I take a wee bit more out of this. So I'll just take a wee. I don't think we're talking an awful lot. Millimeters, but it makes a big difference.
Yeah.
When you go to the, see, there's it on again. Just that wee bit, taking it off. So it's not going right on, so I need to move this tannin now slightly up. So I'll bring that over here, camera. You can see the wee ridge where the top of the thing was. So I just need to come into that. And it's virtually taking nothing off it, but just enough for that to go back on again. And that's holding nicely. So that's one way you can get out of that. And if we don't want to do anything else to that, you can just sand that wee bit and make it wee part of the lid and the inside. There's nothing wrong with that, So I still haven't got over this problem where we want to mark that too. So I'm just looking at that. Something that's flush with that. So I'm just going to break it flush. Just nice and easy.
Bob's been looking for a list of toxic wood. One of your best sources, Bob, is Wood Database.
Yeah, that's the best place to look. I'll give it an ugly coat of fancy there and that.
The Wood Database has been around for many years, and it gets updated fairly often. So that would be a good source for you.
That's nice. Okay, so we can take that out. I'm just going to leave that wee recess I cut into the face of that. So we'll put that back in again. It's a bit better than what it was the first time I put it in. So, I dropped in my piece. Oh.
Only problem with dropping it is you got to bend down and get it.
Yeah, problem with my knees. I'm going to bend down. Frick's sake. It's hard to get back up again. No problem when getting down again. It's getting back up.
That's right.
Right. So we have that in our recess. now we can shape our lid. And you can either reshape the lid to incorporate your wee finger pull for lifting the lid off, or you can make it flush over and dome it over and make a wee button for it. But we're going to incorporate it into the piece, so I don't have anything extra to turn. you know, that's the way you do it.
Dr. Bob has said that the biggest export of Michigan is shipping water across the world. He said that's a good business model because H2O is only rented. It's always returned. And Todd says that's a different definition of we, Pete. That's why it's so funny to me, Todd. Oh, I've always said that about coffee, that you don't truly buy coffee, you only rent it.
So I'm using the tailstock to hold that in place, but there's other ways of doing it. So I just want to think that nice and flush. I'll just hit that with a D20 sandpaper here, just on the outside of this. See what that's like now. Could do a wee bit more, so I'll take it back to 180. Do a wee bit more off the top of that. Do it this way and then take it off with a tool, because you can end up dinging into it, and the next thing you have loads to take off and fix. So sandpaper, if it's not too much, just sand it down to make sure the two are flush with one another. Then that'll let you work on away on the rest of the piece. So we're going to incorporate the wee button. We lift it off with and the lid. And do as much as you can with the tailstock in place. Because once you take that away, you will find that when you touch the piece, it'll want to fly off. So do all you can now, and then only matter of doing a wee bit later on. Right. So I'll sand the rest of that up with the tailstocks there, and then we'll give it a coat of sand sealer. And it's nice the nub. Nub.
Discussion of the bottle of the water being exported. Todd said it's absurd in the world today that we'll import bottled water from Fiji. Pete turns around and says, "You think that's bad? Michigan exports the water in tankers to Fiji, who bottles it up then and sells it
Send
to
it
us
back.
in Texas." Yeah. And that's probably truer than you know, Pete. There was a company, it's been many years ago, they claimed to be a spring water, and they were investigated. Turns out they were getting the water out of a tap in New York City. Had nothing to do with the mountains, had nothing to do with a spring. They were simply opening a kitchen tap somewhere in somebody's kitchen and bottling water. Robert said it's cheaper out of the tap, and you're exactly right, Robert.
Okay, so that's a wee bit loose. That was coming off with me taking the tailstock away. So I got a wee bit of tape to hold that in place while I finish the lid.
Now, is this is this going to be Mike Walt approved?
Boy, this is where Mike Wolf approved.
Oh me,
So you
can't help.
finished the outside bit, so you, you're not worrying about that. So
Yeah,
it's you're only
I
taking the top off this, so it's not a lot, not a lot, not a lot. You're turning away, so that should be more than enough to hold it. As long as you're gentle with it,
right.
you should get away with it.
I was watching that live with poor Mike having such trouble with the tape, and my goodness. Oh me, that was one day when everything that could go wrong did.
So 1/4 inch spindle, guys. Nice and gentle with it. Just trying to get rid of that divot,
Mm-hmm.
uh, tail stock, or life center mate. Just going down with it, and just want to change spindle gauges. It's lost its edge. Nice sharp one.
Nice job.
Right. I'll do that. Let's give it a wee sand. Stop out and have a wee look at it before you get any sun sealer on it. Right. Okay. Let's remove the tape and just give a wee use the polish, and then turn it around and take the foot off.
Just put the link in for my live tomorrow. We'll be finishing up the hollow form that we started last week. Taking the tenon off, making a cap, fitting it for a finial. So if we have time, I've got another little, hopefully a quick little project in mind to go along with our 4th of July that's coming up. Pop. Very nice.
Just give it a wee clean. Right, I will turn that round and remove the foot. And we can call that done. Done, 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 done. Is this going to hold this or not? Nope.
Todd, you're exactly right. Todd said he's reminded me that everybody has a 4th of July, but they don't necessarily celebrate it. No, y'all don't. Here in the U.S., it's our Independence Day. We're celebrating our Declaration of Independence from the oppressive taxation of another country, of England. It's our separation from England in the early days there. Forget, I was trying to think who, somebody in England said, "Oh, you mean the 4th of July, the day of something." I forget what they called it now, but it was from the other point of view. And I understand that.
I'm going to make a wee jam chuck to hold the piece on here.
Excellent, excellent.
So sometimes when you go to fit your piece into the jaws, it just won't, because your recess you have, it's not deep enough. So there's a slight chance it'll skate off. Hi, I know that. I done it yesterday. So I had to make a wee jam chuck. Right. Let's just get the size of that. Where's that caliber?
Yeah, Canada is celebrating today, Canada Day. On the 4th, we will celebrate Independence Day, which was the beginning of of this nation. Wybie said it's when Will Smith beat the aliens. Yeah, that was a pretty cool movie. I enjoyed that movie. I enjoyed that one.
Yeah. I made that too small. Paul. It's obviously when you come to the end of something that
of course.
Yeah.
It seems to get difficult at the very end. Pete says it's in England. You celebrate the end of sharing your tea with the Bostonians. Yep.
Just making some more room for that to go down inside that. So again, I'm just going towards the outside at an angle, hoping to catch that and not make it too small. Yeah, that's almost there. So if I straighten that up a wee bit.
Lucy said she was probably in some sort of a drunken state when she watched the movie. Oh, me.
Okay, so there's it on. So I'm just going to bring the tailstock up here a minute just to see if it's lined up exactly. It's not. So, yeah, I can force it on there. So while I'm have a tailstock there, we can just finish the bottom of this over. I'll just change cameras again. And we just want to take this part off. Now, we can bring that round a wee bit. Round. undercut that a wee bit. Slight cold putting into that.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Close.
Did I hit the top of that? No, got away with it.
Yeah, you're okay.
So,
Now, will you make that slightly concave on the bottom?
oh, Paul, what are you doing? I'll take this a wee bit down a wee bit more because I've messed that up. So I want to make that smaller. That should be all right there. Okay, we'll not go in that way. We'll go in from here. Already tried it twice and it just didn't want to go. I'm just making that concave underneath. Take as much timber as you can away where the tailstock's there. And okay, so before we take the tailstock away, I'm just going to do the masking tape job here because it will probably want to come off. Right, so we're going to take the tailstock away. I'm just going to get the skew wherever I left it. There's there. We'll just cut the most of this off with the point of the skew. Yeah. Oh, it moved there. See that? The whole thing wanted to come off. Boy, that's still quite on the hard side. Well, it's moved. Yeah. It's moved. We'll try it again with a tailstock and then cut it right it's in place. There. Now, all we have to do is tidy that up without racking it. And it's not really holding very well.
I did that last Wednesday, and yeah, my tape didn't want to stick to the metal very well. Stuck to the wood fine.
I'm just going to sand it with the sanding disc and the drill. It should be more than enough to take that down.
Yes, I think you're right.
Yeah.
That's what Pete was suggesting too. Sandpaper's a little less aggressive than the tools are.
There we are. I'll just hit that with a bit of, let's see. Just dry that off. And where's my wee bit of paper? This has been waxed a wee while ago, so I'm just rubbing it up a wee bit. So we can stop that. Find our end of our tape.
It stayed right where it was supposed to.
Yeah, just hold it a wee bit more until I polish the rest of
Mhm.
that up. Just sometimes you need that wee bit of extra help holding it, especially when
Yeah.
you're working with a fine fitting lid and the recess
Mhm.
is not that deep. Yeah, it popped off her. Right, where's the lid? Just give that a wee clean. Uh, and there we are. A
Very
wee
nice.
lid of pot.
I
Uh,
like it. Love the
and
spiral on there.
I'll just show you the one I made yesterday. So we have almost a matching pair, but they're not the same. Okay, that was yesterday. That was tonight. So there you are. Just a
I
wee
like it.
decorative box for something. Put your trinkets in, ladies. Let's see. Basin shed. Bring Doug in. Oh, there we are, guys.
Still here.
Thank you very much for coming in this evening and
Lucy
staying with
says it's
me.
beautiful. Todd says it looks nice. They do. They both of those look just tremendous.
So
Love it.
it's something else.
Yeah.
While
Yeah.
you have the tool, you may as well use it. So
Sure.
I'm going to use it more and see what our timbers spirals good. I know it textures well. It'll texture anything, but the spiraling on it is the cutting on it. You
Hmm.
want it to be right, so test it out in a few more woods.
Some even tighter woods would be beautiful. Um,
Yeah, I think it would work
um,
all right in beech
Beech would
and
look good.
it might.
Holly would be good.
Yeah,
Pear would be great.
mm, maybe maple. I'm not sure.
A good hard maple, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Anything with a good tight grain. Um, it'd be expensive, but blackwood or ebony would work well, probably.
yeah,
Anything good tight grain. I'm kind of looking around, seeing what I've got, and remind myself. Um, a lot of the Australian woods would work well. They're so
yeah,
stinking hard, though.
yeah. Well, it's that time of the evening. It's 9:15, and it's time I went in and rested the knees. My
Very
knees are
good.
sore. My knees are sore. Thanks very much, guys, for coming in and enjoying me this evening. And
Lots of great
thank you,
comments.
Doug. Thank you,
You're
Doug,
so welcome.
for coming over. So I'll
Uh,
press the button and say cheerio.
Cheerio, guys.
Bye. See you next week.
Awkward.